I never felt so alive. You've been alive for 10 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes. Welcome back to JK Rants and Reviews. I'm John. This is Caleb. And today we're going to be talking about Cult of Chucky 2015. It's directed by Don Mancini again.
And this one is still good. I know I see a lot of divided fans on this one. Actually, just recently I was doing a lot of digging on the later sequels of Child's Play and where people rank. And I feel like people rank this one either very, very high or right above Seed. And I can see why. But the setting, the cinematography, the colors used, the acting, again, did great. But there was a few things in the plot that maybe shouldn't have happened, even if you're one of the people like me who enjoyed them.
And the acting dips down in this one again, but not terrible. Not terrible. It just dips down a little bit.
And it's not from the characters that we saw before. And
right, no, yeah. Fiona Dorff kills it again.
She is amazing. Coming off of our last review, my favorite character, Alice, is now dead.
Yeah, I'm going to say she's the death in this because they reference her dead in this movie and she wasn't dead at the end of the last one. So, yeah, first death, Alice, 12-ish years old, however old she was, 8, 12. Yeah, jeez.
But walking into the movie, we are back with Andy, which is kind of interesting because
the OG.
He's discussing how he feels about guns with a potential new date, and that goes bad, and then he pulls Chucky's head out of a locker, and I'm not going to lie, I have a little bit of a problem with that for what comes after this. Chucky's missing like half of his face. He's nailed into this post.
I love how he still has a sense of humor, though. He's like, he talked about her redhead.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it, but yeah, it was funny.
And then he's like, he asks Andy for a hit off a joint and like still has it in him to try and scare him. And then,
And then he pulls out the blowtorch.
Yeah, and Andy's torturing this Chucky head.
Good therapy.
Apparently. Apparently it doesn't get him dates, though.
She was out of his league anyway. I'm not trying to be mean. He's not a bad looking dude. I'm gonna give Andy a 7.5. But she was like a solid 9. So I mean, you can date above or below 2. So it's not like she was that out of his league, but she was out of his league. I mean, especially for damaged, he gets pegged down a couple too. Anyway, let's keep going.
You know, that's just mean. You're starting to sound.
There's nothing wrong with 7.5.
One thing, this film has more Jennifer Tilly. For not a whole lot more, but enough.
So it's like he got brave enough and he was like, oh yes, Seed does exist.
Yeah.
So you liked my last movie? Oh.
They did kind of note that in the last one that Seed did exist. This one just completely confirmed that Seed did exist in this universe.
Where the last one was denying, this one wasn't.
Yeah, and it drove me nuts because Jennifer Tilly's entrance was great. She's the one who announces that Alice is dead and fake cries and all this.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, you look just like Jennifer Tilly. I get that all the time.
Stop it! I hate that so much.
Stop it!
Same thing with Ocean's 12. You look like oh no.
So
Pretty Woman.
Julia Roberts.
Thank you. I hate that so much. An actor playing herself. She's not playing herself. She is. I hate it.
There's so many walls. That's like 16 walls.
Hate it.
Deadpool reference. So yeah,
her acting dropped. Was it just me? Like she was always trying to be like sinister and like quoting back to stuff she's already
towards
said.
the end. I liked her. At this point of the film, I'm just like so mad because they acknowledge that Seed, that pile of garbage, does exist.
But they're not brave enough yet to give us Glenn and Glenda. So
No, but at the end of the movie, she's laughing in the car, and so is her doll of her, and I'm just so what on that one. So we'll get into some of the real movie here.
Right. So Alex Vincent's back playing Andy. His acting, as a kid, he got better in the second movie. In this movie, he's okay. I think he gets away with it because he's not a great actor. He gets away with it because he's damaged, and he's kind of that tough guy. He's taken on, like, he lives out in the woods. In a cabin, he's got guns, he's got the big truck, he's like a survivalist a little bit, and he's
got
been
a Chucky
torturing
head.
Chucky. Yeah, like
he's got a Chucky head and a locker.
So his acting isn't great, but it gets by with his character, I thought.
I will say that they used him less than I had figured that they would.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, because I enjoyed the previous entry, as soon as this came out VOD, I was on Amazon and got it that day.
Yeah.
But I thought there would be a lot more Andy. There's a significant amount, but Nika is still the main story arc here.
So yeah, we go into the insane asylum, and so she's getting transferred from like a maximum security because she's convicted of killing all these people to a low level, not as many cameras, you can have visitors, that kind of thing. So now she's there, and she meets up with multiple Malcolm. She meets up with a couple other ladies that are outside their gourd.
One winds up making Chucky a baby.
Very weird. We're gonna get there. Very weird. And then she ends up hooking up with Malcolm real quick, which, I mean, you're in prison. He's in prison. You don't have much to go for. It just was like, I didn't expect that.
I did like the nurse at the beginning. The one that gave her the gum.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not here to be your friend.
Right. He's got to keep his guard up, but he's still a good guy.
But he's like, you're stuck here. Here, have some gum. That's what I got. Like, it was a nice move. It was nice to see that he's like, this is my job, but I can still have a heart.
Right.
Whereas I feel like a lot of the movies go for the angle of like the drill sergeant mentality where like they just use and abuse all of the people there. Whereas this one's like, no, there are people who actually work in these fields who do try and do
and you
nice
could have made
things.
him a bad guy to build up his death.
Yeah.
But they have that with the creepy rapist doctor.
Oh,
who
my.
plays his part. Like a B plus Dr. Dreamy. Comment below, let me know the real name if I got it wrong. But he looks a lot like him, right? Got the curly hair. He's good looking, got a little bit of the beard, the ruff going on.
The whole movie, you know he's creepy. Like, it just starts out and you're like, you might be the real villain.
So the first Chucky doll, the doctor brings in
as a therapy thing, and he says, he's like, hi, my name's... And then he blinks and pauses for just a second. And then he's Chucky.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I paid extra for the Chucky doll.
Right, the one that says Chucky, and he's like, well, that's weird. He's like, no, really, this percentage is all named Chucky. I just paid to have one that way.
Yeah. And then Jennifer Tilly brings in another Chucky doll. And then Andy's got a Chucky doll head. And then Andy delivers a Chucky doll. This is so many Chucky dolls.
So for the main part of this movie, there's two Chucky dolls. The doctor brings in one, and then Jennifer Tilly brings in one. And yeah, the crazy old lady, like, I see like people all the time and hear voices and all that stuff. He's like,
I'm a child,
mass-produced
children's doll from the 80s, and I'm talking to you.
I'm real. No, you're not. He's like, I'm going to be back. And so then he goes down. He's going to kill Nika, and she tries to commit suicide. He stitches her back up. And then leaves a little note
in the blood that says, like, not yet, or not so soon.
Right. And then she ends up having to cover that with a pillow. But that scene with him walking down, talking to that older gal was a really cool scene. Like, just, they capture his personality and his creepiness and everything.
They started the shot down the hallway, like, the way he's moving, it's eerie. And then that old crazy lady opens the door and starts in on him, and you're like, yes, this is exactly what Chucky is. It's both kind of creepy and absolutely hilarious.
Right. And then he's like, and you do find out that he actually did call and talk to her and find out that Nika was there.
So
that wasn't just in her head.
But it's not like when they're in their therapy earlier, she's like, I talked to Chucky, and everybody's like, okay, whatever. Right. And then she's like, you're the one I talked to on the phone, and he's like, yeah.
Right. And then they do, so then she dies. They have to dig a hole and bury her, and everybody's sad. So then they have the grave downstairs, and you see the gal throw Chucky into the grave, and then you see multiple Malcolm go in it. And then he kind of pops up out. Creepy.
Yeah.
And you're not sure if he got possessed or not. And then there's kind of a shell game going on now between the two Chucky dolls, which is kind of fun. Come to find out they're both possessed. Didn't see that coming.
They're both active.
Yeah.
I have questions. Which later in the film, one of those two Chuckies, I don't know which, does kind of address it a little bit.
Well, then they're trying to get rid of one of the Chucky dolls, and Chucky bites her on the way down the garbage disposal, and she like throws him down and starts freaking out.
And she starts trying to blame it on Chucky, and they're like, no, we need to get you drugged and sedated.
This is where you start to feel like the doctor's super creepy, because he's like, he drugs her and she's laying there and she's all like tied down, and he's like, no, she can see and hear everything, but she can't move. And you're like, that seems a little creepy how you just phrased that.
Yeah, it's a little weird how you phrase that, and it's also really convenient for one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Right, mine too. I love it when he's like, compressed air. What does that mean? Honestly, I don't know.
And the way that he toys with his prey in this one is a little bit unique, in my opinion. Like, he plays with everybody at a new level. Like, he's always been like stalk.
But this one has like a ramped up confidence because of the new voodoo. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, I'm everywhere. He's like, he's turning into Agent Smith in the Matrix.
He totally is. And that compressed air, man. So the kill that Tiffany was in charge of in Bride of Chucky with the wine bottle, it's that times 1,000.
Yeah, that's so good.
And I cannot explain how cool that kill is.
The snow coming in, the blood. Oh, man.
It is a great shot for any horror fan. Even if you don't like this movie and you are a horror fan, I recommend at least hunting down this kill on YouTube if you're not going to give the movie a chance. Because the effects were done great. The shot was done great. And if you do like Chucky, his characterization during this kill was on point.
Right. Yeah. So much. Yeah. I like that he's having fun in parts of this movie and in the last one. But yeah, so then she's gone. Jeez. We run through people pretty quick in this movie.
This movie hits hard. It knocks people down one after the other after the other.
Well, then you go to the creepy chick that is using Chucky as her baby. And then, like, she's got to step away to feed Chucky, and then she pulls away, and then you can see the red coming through her shirt, and you're like, did that really happen?
I know I know I'm not alone on this.
See, that's kind of creepy and weird, but it's not Seed of Chucky creepy and weird. It's subtle enough to be...
You're just like, what the...
You're like, oh, I know what happened.
That was weird, and her death is even weirder.
Well, I like that she actually smothers him, and then they ninja in the room after they do it.
Yeah.
And like, no, you killed your kid and like all that. Like, it just kind of was like, wow, this chick actually, did she kill her? She did kill her original kid. Like,
her
and she was going to kill her new, and then they bury Chucky. Then he comes back and shoves, like she's okay with it. Like, she's like, okay. And like, she gets right down like, with him.
Now's my time, Lord. Right. But he shoves his arm down her throat.
Yeah.
Like,
and then pulls it out, and like you see all that gunk nastiness,
and then drops it back in so that when the nurses come in, Chucky's missing an arm in the corner, and then she's just got this good guy doll arm just flying out of her mouth.
And that's what's weird, is that this is the second doll, I believe, that was brought in that's been possessed for a while, but his arm is still... it popped out of the socket. It's still a doll.
It's like a doll arm, whereas before we're getting Chucky that if his arm comes off, he's bleeding.
Right. Like,
just watch
very
the
short
ending of Child's Play 2.
Right. Well, and then like...
He's not having a good time.
It's all over the place. So you're like, okay, so now he just can't get hurt. There's no blood. Because in the last movie they stab him. That's an old one. There's no blood. So you're like, okay, now for whatever reason, he doesn't bleed anymore. He's figured out something that doesn't make him turn human.
Codes to Grand Theft Auto. I think that's what happened.
Right. So then after he kills her, Andy ends up showing up. Won't let him in. He punches the dude, so they let him commit himself. Don't know if that would actually happen. Maybe for the night, waiting on the cops.
And we're just going to happen. There is a third Chucky doll delivered right as Andy's arriving, like just right before.
Right. Dang, that was quick shipping.
And the doctor gets it, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this right now, because he's busy trying to hypnotize and rape Nika.
Right.
What?
Well, this is the second time, right? Yeah, this is the second time. The first time, Chucky comes awake, knocks him out, and he's trying to get Nika to kill the doctor, and she won't. Even though she admits that she wants to.
And they call me sick.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then the second time, same thing happens. He knocks him out, and he says, all right, we're going to do it. Or no. I just can't with this guy. I don't know whether to kill him or take notes.
Yeah, and then then Chucky brings the other Chucky back.
From Andy that has the short hair.
Yeah, and the banter between
this
all
probably
three Chuckies is my
the best
favorite part of the film. And this is probably where everybody got pissed. So the people who put this towards the bottom of the list, I think this right here is top reason why. The three Chuckies are going on in a joking manner, and it's maybe 3 to 5 minutes of
I'd say it's
banter
it's
in
probably
that
2
room.
minutes, probably 2-3 minutes. Yeah.
And then they kill the
nurse. That gave her the gum.
And then they're okay.
They messed him up. They had a bottle they were slashing him with. They had the drill, and then he had something else. They were messing that dude up.
There's so much happening in that scene. He's getting stabbed. He's got a drill.
And he walks halfway into the room, and they're 5 feet from him, and he's because he's been listening to him, and they bum rush him. And he doesn't move. He just falls over and gets killed. I thought that I would have rather him turn around, run, and hit the door or something. Something to get away. Because these guys are still little. He should have been able to try. But anyway, that banter between them was amazing.
It was great.
I've never felt so alive.
You've been alive for 2 minutes.
And then gleeful happiness. I don't know.
And then they know that Andy's there, and so they're trying to decide which Chucky is gonna get to go kill Andy. He's I've had a terrible week. He's look at my hand. He's look at my hair. And they're oh, you are so right.
And the other one's I was buried. And he was no, you got to the breastfeeding.
Yeah. Look at what they did to my hair. You're right, man. You go get him.
Yeah, that's right, pal. You go mess him up. You go mess him up real good.
And then he goes down there, and Andy conveniently...
He has a here's Johnny moment, and then he stands up, gets Chucky ninja throws right into his leg and drops him to the ground. And you're dang, is Andy gonna get killed real fast? But then Andy gets a hold of him and shoves him to the wall.
And shoves his hand deep in his chest, and there is blood and guts. So this is my problem. How is it the other Chuckies don't have blood and guts, but this one does? And he pulls out a gun and shoots him, and more blood proceeds to come out.
If you just ripped his stomach out, can't you just stomp his head in? I don't think you needed to unload 5 or 6 shots, however much it was, and empty the gun. Then the gun was empty. So then let's go back to Nika.
Yeah.
So Nika's in the chair, gets possessed in 3 seconds.
Her, and
they do something.
Here's my next problem. She stands
up, and she's in a straitjacket. So not only is her spine fixed by the power of voodoo, she stands up and rips open the straitjacket. I was okay, I guess you're super strong and everything's fixed.
So now that she's possessed by Chucky, Chucky's not crippled enough to need a wheelchair, so I don't understand the logic.
I guess the voodoo just fixed her. Well, it makes a doll go full human. I guess it would make you go full complete. I don't know.
But you'd still have that injury. I don't know. And then, yes, she Hulk modes a straitjacket. But then she pulls a Michael Myers from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and just smashes dude's head in with that heel.
Pretty good looking. Gets a little cheesy, but pretty good.
We all wanted that moment to happen.
Yes, we did.
So, yeah, and then she locks Andy back in the room, I'm guessing to make it look like Andy did it. That is my thought. Here's
my problem with this is okay, how'd you not put the blood and gore into the cell with Andy? You could have played it off that Andy was insane and did this again. Or something like that, because there'd be just a regular doll ripped to shreds and he got the gun. Now there's blood everywhere, and you go, yeah, this doll's freaking possessed. Test the DNA. That was so dumb. I wish I could talk to Don Mancini and be what does this scene represent? Is Andy going to get out and start this squad to hunt him down or something?
So, after Nika locks dude in the cell,
we have a really cool music. She's walking, she's got the black. This is where I had a feeling that it felt a lot like Sweeney Todd. It has the red and the
red
blues,
car,
the
Jennifer
white.
Tilly's in the red, the snow, the
interior. Her hair is kind of that way,
the way the building is all white, and it just the shot. It
is
good. A good shot. Yeah. Don't get me wrong; it just feels less like horror and more like Sweeney Todd, like you're saying.
Like a weird musical horror almost.
I don't have a problem with it. It's just
noted.
different. Yeah.
And I like the on her way out, I like the death of Multiple Malcolm, where you thought, what, is he really Charles? No, he's not. Right
that
through the back.
drill. That was okay. That is probably second favorite death of the movie for me. That just straight through the back of the head and the eye.
Right. And now there's still a Chucky doll there.
Is
there two?
There's
one.
two.
Yeah, there's two. Yeah, because he transfers, but there's still a soul in the old doll, right?
Yeah, Armless is still there, and so is the other one. It shows them sit down and go like,
and you see them kind of slowly fade out, which was cool. And then you got Andy still locked in there. They leave and they're laughing, and it was a good laugh. It wasn't bad. It was a little cheesy. I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was just a little cheesy.
The weird part for me is Jennifer Tilly and the Jennifer Tilly doll are back there.
And the doll's laugh is better.
The dolls, yeah, all three of them are laughing. I will say Fiona Dorff's laugh is actually a really good.
I mean, she grew up with it, though. Yeah. It should be.
Like, she has her dad's laugh for that part. After the credits roll, and we sit here because Marvel taught us how to do this, we get Kyle walking into Andy's house. And let me tell you what, I am really happy. I'm hoping that she stays back, because one of my favorite parts of this franchise is in Child's Play 2, where Chucky and Kyle are going back and forth, back and forth. That was so well. I need a scene like that again.
It looks cool, like the lights roll up on him, and you see Chucky kind of like his pupils.
Days, like what?
Right, and then Andy sent me. Yeah, pretty cool way to end the movie. Yeah, I would say better than Andy's.
Yeah, because hers was like, we weren't expecting it because we got Andy back. Like, nobody's going to question if you bring anybody else back or not. But then you brought Kyle back. So I kind of want to know if Tyler will come back too.
I hope not. That's just too much. I mean, unless they're going to put together an army.
Well, at this point, Don Mancini is doing absolutely everything for no reason.
That's true, too.
We have dolls that bleed and dolls that don't. Yeah.
So what would you rate it?
I am going to be very critical here and give it a 6. It is definitely high on the rewatchability. I really enjoy the cinematography. The banter between all three Chuckies makes this movie fantastic. However, getting in with some dolls bleed, some dolls don't, they're changing too much too quickly, and I have a feeling that may make the show fall flat. I hope not. I want to be proven wrong, but 6.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like, up until that part where the gore comes out of the Chucky doll with Andy, that hurts the lore of Chucky. It hurts the flow, the quality. But like he's saying, like the banter between the three Chuckies, the banter between him and the other characters, and especially the older gal, and like just Chucky is awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
So for me, like, the rewatchability is high, where the quality is a little lower than I think Colt is. So I'm gonna give it 7.5. 7.5. I really do enjoy it. I wish they would have tweaked it just a little bit, but I enjoy it enough to where I can kind of let some of it go. Stick with us. The remake is going to come out, and then in 2020, the series will come out. We'll definitely cover that. Let us know if you're excited for the series, if you're excited for the reboot. Let us know if you think there never should have been a reboot. But we're definitely going to be there. We give it our full support, even though we might not want it. Caleb. But yeah, I can have my cake and eat it too. I like cake and ice cream, and we're gonna find out. I doubt it'll be better than the original, but I'm interested to see. It's got some good actors and some. We'll see.
Skynet takes over Chucky. That's what I feel like is gonna happen here.
Yeah. So remember, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure and hit the notification button so you can get some more R&R. Till next time, JK out.
Settle this argument for us. Is there a reboot better than the original? I say no.